So 4 years after Juice Wrld unfortunately left us, it looks like his new album, The Party Never Ends, is finally dropping. And the reason I wanted to speak about it is, number one, there's a lot of like really interesting things about this album. Not even just the music specifically, but just how people are still anticipating that I wanted to speak about. Also posthumous music and how it's being released. Just the whole thing is kind of interesting to me in general. But here's a little background info. Basically, this album of Juice Wrld's, The Party Never Ends, was set to release, or not set to release, was being teased since 2020. And I guess Juice Wrld had such a cult fan base that they had all these grails, and I guess his management or label just knew that it was that the fans wanted them, so they said, yo, these are gonna be there. And I think there's a couple songs that are meant to be there. I think there's this one called Made It Back or something, and there are probably some others. I'm not like a huge Juice Wrld stan, so I wouldn't know, but I am gonna check this album out because he makes good music. Like, for them to find like 15-20 songs that are solid, pretty easy. But to me, what's crazy is that there's still hype for new Juice Wrld albums 4 years after he left, and it's not like some random amount of fans. It's not like a small amount. It's not like a couple people are like, hey man, drop some music. It's a lot of people, enough to like sell 100, 200k still, and he still has a huge pull on a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie, he could probably even outsell Uzi's Pink Tape that sold 160 if they put some features on it and did like the whole industry, but I don't know if they're gonna do that. Another reason why this is so interesting to me is because of how the fans are reacting. You know, normally when someone is dropping music, fans, they're just happy in general that they're dropping music if it's good, which this album is going to be. If they drop good music, they're usually happy. Not always if they drop, because if it's trash, they're like, man, what the hell. But if they drop new music, they're usually happy, right? The thing about Juice Wrld fans and with this album is that they're probably going to be pissed, or there's going to be some type of thing between them and the label, which normally doesn't happen between artists and fans, or not all. It does happen, but it's not this consistent. And it's that Juice Wrld fans they make the track list for the label almost. Like, they'll expect all these songs. Like, they'll have all these snippets that have been teased or released, or some have even been leaked. They'll compile them and they'll be like, this is our perfect album. And their fan base is so strong that it'll just start getting spread around, and they'll run with it. So much so that his last album, I forgot the name of the album, but they had to release a song that they didn't have the proper files for, and you could hear in the mix that like they had tried to remaster it, but they just did the best they could. And the reason they did it is because it had like so much hype on TikTok and stuff. I think it had hype on TikTok, but that's why they did it, because so many fans wanted it and knew it would just make the album sell more. And it's gonna be interesting to see which songs they put here too. That's another thing about this album. They said that it's gonna release top of 2024, which means the first quarter, just in the beginning of the year. But they didn't say or give any details about it. They didn't give the track list, they didn't give a date, of course, they didn't give an album cover. Just, I think he has a day, Juice Wrld Day. If you're wondering why this news is so recent, it's because Juice Wrld passed in December, and that's why Juice Wrld Day is, the day of his passing. So it happened in December, and they just, for a quick moment, were like, hey, The Party Never Ends is dropping. And they knew what they were doing. Of course, every Juice Wrld fan and their mom, okay, maybe not their moms, but every Juice Wrld fan was like, hey, oh my god, The Party Never Ends is dropping. This is so crazy. Oh my god. And they made this whole big deal about it. And now everyone's like, okay, it's dropping. And this just might be part of their promotional strategy, because they know he has such a strong fan base that just like a little word about it. He's not Cardi or anything, or it's not like Cardi or anything, but definitely gets the ball rolling. Another reason for them not posting any cover art or track list or giving any other details is because, like, when you're rolling on an album, the period you have to building hype. There's already a lot of hype built for this album, and once you start giving like a little payoff or like payoffs to the fans, like, oh, that felt like, when you give an album date or an album cover or like a date, right? They start getting like a good feeling. They start getting like the satisfying feeling. You don't want to like satisfy the fans too much, but you also don't want to tease them to the point where they hate you, like Playboi Carti or even Lil Uzi in the past, or you might have felt this with some other rapper. That's another thing that's interesting. So to me, it's just really cool to see how it's all being rolled out and stuff. And yeah, I don't think anyone's really debating whether the music's gonna be good or not, because you can just go on SoundCloud and you'll find 5 new Juice Wrld songs and they'll all be fire. And he probably recorded them in like less than an hour, because he was recording like multiple songs every day. You know what I mean? The other thing I want to talk about was posthumous albums in general. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you probably know that I have another video where I talked about this, but I talked about Lil Peep and XXXTentacion mostly. The thing about Juice Wrld is, what's really interesting to me is he had so much music. I think Tupac had a lot of music, but that's an old school rapper that me and I'm guessing neither of you listen to either. I think Biggie or something too, but when they passed, they had tons of music too. Like, I think Tupac's verses were being sold like crazy and stuff. Enough with the old head talk though. something I'm curious to find out is, or just like, yeah, find out is, are they just gonna keep releasing Juice Wrld albums until like the hype dies and then like slowly start putting them out or put them out faster? I'm like confused with what his estate or label / management are gonna do. Like, are these guys gonna like keep putting out Juice Wrld albums like this forever? Are they gonna release them all? Are they gonna start selling his verses to other artists at some point? Because there's so much music, you know what I mean? Like, I'm guessing they could pull this off for the next 3 to 4, maybe 5 years of like putting out albums like this, building some hype and selling a ton, and they're gonna make a ton of money. But after that, eventually these fans who are mostly middle schoolers and high schoolers are gonna become college students, or they're gonna become college students. They might still listen, but eventually they're gonna get pretty old and they're not gonna be wanting to listen Juice Wrld rap about a bunch of, you know, substances and whatever else he was engaging in or indulging in his life, right? They're gonna grow up and they're gonna kind of grow out of his music. They're not really gonna be that interested in, you know, new Juice Wrld music. For example, when I'm 30, I don't know if I'm gonna be excited. I mean, I'm not gonna be excited for a new Juice Wrld album. No offense, you know, Juice stands, don't come at me. You probably won't either, by the way. Like, you know, and that's obvious, of course. Like, you're not even gonna be excited for a new Cardi drop. He's gonna be like washed by then or something, right? So I know I'm just stating the obvious, but what I'm getting at here is like, what are they gonna do? Are they just gonna continue to do this? Are they gonna do that? And I've actually said this before, and some people have been like, yo, why would you say that, or why would you want to do that? And some people have been like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I'm sure most of those people that think it's a great idea are fans. And what that is to just drop every single song you have. Because think about it, he has so many songs, you can't even drop them on a periodical basis, like every 1 to 2 years, and get all of them. And I'm not saying all the music has to be released, but like he has 5 or 6,000. He's like an insane amount. Just drop all the good ones, you know what I mean? Just drop them all and let everyone sift through it, find it for themselves. Because like, let's be honest, Juice Wrld's estate is probably one of the greediest, or they're not greedy, they're just profit minded. Okay, they're greedy, and they're just trying to like milk him and make as much money as possible. So like, you know, after that little buzz or whatever I just explained dies out, why not just drop a ton of Juice Wrld songs, like every single one in the vault? And not only would you make a ton of money off of it, like imagine dropping a 2,000 or like a 4,000 song album, like it would be a compilation tape, but imagine how much it would sell. Like it would sell, like I think it might be the first digital album to sell like 1 million off streaming. Okay, maybe not 1 million, but it would sell an insane amount. Like, think about it. So it would be a win for them in their books. For his fans, it would be in their books. And of course, some people are gonna be like, hey man, he didn't want all those songs not released. He seemed like a chill guy. I think he would be down with it, but I can't put words in his mouth or anything. I do think when artists have like unfinished songs or something, like, or when people are more like purposeful, like, for example, maybe like Tyler the Creator, if he passed and they started putting out like random songs from Tyler the Creator, it would be like, yo, or like Playboi Carti, where you can tell he puts a lot of work into how his discography looks. I'm not saying Juice Wrld didn't care about how his stuff looked, but it's like, okay, you have 5,000 songs and 2,000 leaks, like, you know. And I'm not trying to be like rash or be disrespectful. That's just like my kind of blunt thoughts. But anyways, let me know what you think of this whole new album and the leaks and what they should do with his posthumous legacy. Not that it's up to any of us, but your thoughts in general. And if you're excited for The Party Never Ends. I guess Juice is still partying. But thanks for watching. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Bye.